If you ever wanted to flood a city with poop water, make roads which defy the very laws of physics, or create a city in the shape of a pee-pee, well then, you're in the right place, because today we will be doing exactly that, and even more in city Skylines. But before we can actually make the worst city imaginable, we must firstly get some inhabitants to exploit. Which means, you know, we need to make them actually want to move into the city. And I have the perfect plan to do that. Ah yes, who doesn't want to live in the Dong City? I'm willing to bet I'm going to get millions of people rushing in at any moment. Any moment now. Okay, it seems I was mistaken. We need to actually provide them with basic necessities, like water, and of course, some dirty coal electricity. And before long, we already had our first inhabitants. The inhabitants of Pee-Pee-Ville. They don't know yet, but soon they will cause their own demise with their own poop. Soon our city started to grow. We made more houses, shopping centers, industrial areas. Hell, I could even probably make a strip club soon. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen because I used up all of my money on sex toys. And now our city is even going into debt. But that's when it happened. We unlocked the first achievement, which gave us one very immensely important thing. You see, the best way to solve that is to get into even more debt. Okay, in all honesty, I had no idea if that plan was actually going to work. But hey, I tried my best. I made a kindergarten, a garbage pile, expanded our industry, and that's when it finally happened. We made our first profits. At that moment, I felt like a newborn baby exiting the womb. But now, the distant dream I had of the impossibly traversable roads, air poisonous pollution, and the poo-cano weren't so distant after all. The city grew more. The traffic on the balls was enhanced. I built parks for the people to have some fun before their inevitable doom. And finally, it was time to start working on our next big project, the impossibly traversable roads. So I bought a plot of land and began on my expansion. I had to create the worst roads possible, comparable to even the roads in my hometown. The city was beginning to suffer. There was a housing crisis. People were dying. The taxes were way too high. But then, it all made sense to them. All the poor life conditions, the suffering of the children, it was all being funded for that. A giant piece of land piercing the sky and enveloping the whole land in its shadow. But that was only the beginning of their worries. Soon I erected a giant plateau near the industrial area. I dug a giant hole on the other side of the highway. I had so many plans coming up, but the only problem was money. I didn't have enough of it. So before I could make the worst road imaginable, I firstly created a big residential area on the plateau, so we could get an excessive amount of money, giving taxpayers. Totally, yes. So, back to the roads. One after another, I abused all of the game's mechanics. And I don't know how, but somehow, after 20 minutes of trying, I managed to build a road going through this monstrosity and to the top of the mountain. But now the tricky part was getting the road back down. So I thought, maybe if I erect another giant mass of dirt, I might be able to make it work. I did not make it work. Heck, I even tried deleting the highway, which literally supplies me with a steady income of taxpayers. But despite that, I still couldn't do it. But I wasn't going to let that stop me, no. So, I somehow managed to muster up all of my 3 remaining brain cells and connected the road to the highway entrance. So now, if somebody wants to come into the Pee-Pee City, they have to go through the Great Divide, up the treacherous pass, through the Tunnel of Doom, up the Vines of Fate, where they will finally make it to the top, where you can find one singular house regretting ever being built. Then you have to go and descend all the way down the mountain, through the giant suburbs with 0 water, and finally, you can make it to the Pee-Pee City. Well then, in all honesty, I feel sorry for all the poor and innocent souls who have to traverse that monstrosity. But you know what? We aren't done yet with the torturing of the citizens. We still have to make the volcano. And you know the giant hole I made a few minutes prior? Well, it will serve as a testing ground to the volcano. I will make it into an industrial area, so the toxic gases coming out of the buildings will stay in the hole and suffocate those poor souls. Well then, let's see what the poo water actually does to them. Well, that was very interesting. And now, with that underway, it is time we start on the real, ginormous volcano. We shall erect a giant mass of land in the middle of a field and connect all of the city sewage to the top. So now slowly but surely, the volcano will start filling up with poo. Who does love wasting taxpayer dollars on the stupidest things possible? Now, tell me something, dear viewer. What is the fastest way to fill the volcano? You're goddamn right. We need more people to poop. And as an added side bonus, they will also serve as poor innocent beings to be engulfed by the giant poonami. So, I created a giant suburbia right under the volcano. We gave it all the possible necessities, but still, the city wasn't growing. Heck, people even started to leave. We needed to act, we needed to do something, and we needed to do it fast. So, I made a highway entrance directly to the poo city. I gave them parks, entertainment, school, shopping centers, and eventually, the numbers started to grow once more. And I even unlocked a train station, which meant that even more people could come in. The city was growing like crazy. Giant apartments were piercing through the skies, the industry poisoning the air, the traffic was absolutely horrendous. People were dying on carnival rides. And eventually, the PP City, together with the Poo City, single-handedly filled up the volcano with their own shit. And this, my comrades, is the day that will go down in the history books. The day where the poor innocent residents of Pooville caused their own demise. Yes, open the gates of hell. I'm sorry, citizens of Pooville, but it is time for you to experience the consequences of your actions. Oh wait, no! The building is on fire! Quickly extinguish it! Oh my god, I'm so glad we saved it. Wait, no! But that didn't help. But as you can see, the whole city is now in ruins. So this video was very epic.